everybody, I am Moldy, and this is Shadows over Loathing once again. In the last episode, I got my ass kicked by a bunch of gator men, and then stepped into the Shadow Realm through an obelisk they had there. Anyway, I'm heading back to Leather Brothers. I got enough gator hides for that guy. Ugh, arg, you've accidentally walked right into a huge swarm of gnats and flies, and they're buzzing super loud, and actually they've got a pretty good beat going. Are those tiny musical instruments? Is that a locust with a fiddle? What is even going on here? I don't know, but I'm fighting them. I ain't letting no musical bugs get the better of me. Standing water bugs, mega mosquitoes, ew, swamp bees, repeatedly stinging Molly for a lot of poison, and you're gonna do cold damage, but yeah, you get kneecapped. Kneecap that swarm of bees. No more. They're not gonna be able to do nothing to you. Also, everyone gets hurt, because why the fuck not? I don't want nobody coming out of this fight unscathed. I broke my shield in that process, but whatever. You're gonna get gurglue, that's bad. But that's also gonna get Molly, so I will protect my gurglue. You will not suck upon my baby! And Molly's all cold now. And a little poison. Well, whatever. Start shooting. Bullets in all the bugs. That's what we do. We shoot bugs round here. And you can get a ball in you. There we go. All the bugs get killed. Swatting some flies. You won. It might not seem particularly brave or heroic to defeat a bunch of normal, regular-sized insects, but there were a whole lot of them. And I got some swamp honey. Which reminds me, I picked up some weird-ass food from those gator men I beat in the last episode, after getting my ass beat by them. Stench armor. I really could have used that. There's also swamp mushroom. The swamp mushroom does not appear in any mycology text because mycologists famously refuse to get their shoes wet. Uh-huh. And the nasty pastry. Okay, that does stench damage. We'll figure out what the swamp mushroom does eventually. John Leathers, I got you them gator hides. You wanted 5, I got you 10. And enjoy with them gator hides. Hope you ain't hiding them from me. Ha ha. I got the hides you needed. John chuckles inappropriately. Need? Got news for you. Don't need them. You keep them. That was just a test. Wanted to see if I could trust you with the real work. Seems I can. Ready for some real hunting. That depends on what real hunting is. Truth is, I got no need for 5 gator hides. My ambitions are far bigger. You see my brother there? He's mute. I'm working to build him a leather tongue. Okie dokie then. Family man, it's, you know. Yeah, so what do you need? 10 gator hides. As a matter of fact, I got 10. There you go. You hand over all the gator hides you've collected. Experience and meat. Beautiful. That's beautiful leather, and it'll make a beautiful tongue. I can look at any animal and tell you what sort of tongue its hide will make. You don't believe me, do you? Go on, name any animal. What about a buffalo? Too big. Okay. That's the tongue sorted, but without something to animate it, it's just a lump of leather flesh. What I need, mate, what my brother Paul really needs, is the power of speech. So this next part is gonna be much easier to explain if you've ever read The Little Mermaid. I can get you a mermaid, that's no problem. Don't need you to hunt a mermaid, mate. But you might not know is that the fairy tale is about a little mermaid who gives up her voice is based on a real-life story of a gator man, merman, who traded his voice for a bucket of ham. That's what gave Hans Christian Gatorman the idea. I tracked that voice down to a fishing hole in the gator village I told you about before. I must have it. Anything for my brother. Family is everything to me, mate. Well, guess we're going back to Gator Village to fish up a voice. I did find the fishing hole. A black shape looms into view at first. It's difficult to make out from the silhouette, but it seems to be a massive shadow brute. It doesn't immediately react to your presence. Perhaps it's facing away, although, again, it's hard to tell. From its movements, it seems to be eating something. Then another shape, a flappy bat-winged shape, unfurls itself on the brute's shoulders and screeches noisily at you. The brute starts to turn around. Well, we got Shadow, Brute, and Bat. That's fine. But they'll be easy. They only got like 15 health at most. Anyway, start shooting. Bullets inside of all of them. You do not like getting shot, judged by that noise you just made. So, you can suck on a couple of balls, you Shadow Bat. 2 balls for you, put you right in the ground, except you are surviving by 2. That's annoying. Big boy goes down. And Arctic Shriek. Oh no, Gurglu. You shouldn't have done that. Now get shot. There you go, stupid. You won. You successfully banished the horrible creature back to where it came from. If only that were a little further away. Anyway, I need to go reel in a voice. So, that fishing hole in this village was... It takes a child to raise a village. Whatever. Well, that just takes me out of the village. You should be a little more clear about that. So... Yep, you're still reading your book. Does that mean... Wasn't the fishing hole right over here? Yeah, it is. Let's just have me that voice. And you found something special. Voice of a Gator Man. That seems like enough for today. Okay, go back to Leather Brothers, restoring speech to a mute boy. Well, that's something you don't see every day. A big haunch of raw meat hanging from a tree branch in the middle of a swamp. Or at least I don't see that every day. Maybe you should spend more time in swamps than I do. Anyway, not wanting to let a perfectly good haunch go to waste, you approach it, and with a cartoonish sproing, you and Molly find yourselves trapped in a big net hanging from the tree. Well, dang it. Raspberries! Well, guess I'll tear myself loose. I do have the strength for it. Fortunately, the net is rather shoddily constructed. It's just made of vines, and heck, if you're gonna let some stupid vines get the better of you. After a short struggle, you manage to tear the net open. You and Molly drop free and escape with the goods. Got me a swamp haunch. Alright. Poor unfortunate mailman. Oh no, the Gator Man detective, you thought he was only a myth. You're a Gator Man detective, I presume? Presumption accurate. Accusing hunters of crimes, grievous butchering gatormen, killing mailmen, despoiling land. Speak, you be accomplice, or be ally gator. Ah, he's on to me. I can run away guiltily or innocently, but he is on to me. I can't have that. Ain't no detective gonna be putting me in the slammer. You got Inspector Legrand. That's who you are. So, say goodbye to your kneecaps. There you go. That's what you get. You shouldn't be investigating things that don't need investigating. You just investigated yourself into the grave, son. There you go. You ain't getting that, hunter. Let's see if the great detective can solve that murder. So, what's the magnifying glass do? Obviously he definitely knows who killed him. Yep, you're damn right. So the magnifying glass. Detectives use these to investigate tiny crimes. Yes, they do. Anyway, the hunters have become caged. What happened? Got snatched, didn't I? It's funny. I'm calmer than I thought I'd be. That mailman slaughter's been hanging on my conscience. And I think I'd been expecting the claw of Johnny Law before too long, but Paul, he wasn't wrapped up in this. It's not fair that he should go down for it. Hey, I don't even need the key. I could just rip the damn cage of the damn door off. Also, let's give Paul the voice of a Gator Man. Paul and John's eyes widen in anticipation as you pop the lid off that grimy jar. A wisp of breath escapes the glass prison and wends its way through the bars of the cage, pausing in midair, then darting up Paul's nostrils. The new breath has invigorated Paul's muscles as well. Plump and pulsing biceps prise apart the bars of the cage. John cuts short his rejoicing when Paul crouches over the body of the Gatorman and keens in mourning. His first noise with a new tongue. Sorry about that. Enough obscene murder in isometric service to animalistic desire. Brother, you practice a violence that is worse than base. It is vicious, it is corrupt, it is wrong. I call an end to all aggression. I call it now. At stake is the project of life itself. Paul, what are you saying? Then Paul Leather says 3 words so painfully profound they reduce his brother to contrite tears. I could do that too if I wanted. John falls to his knees and weeps, moaning in anguish when he sees his reflection in the sodden swamp water. Paul, the hunting, the killing, all of it, I did it to bring your voice back. In finding me a tongue, you gave away your heart. No longer can I recognize our blood in the ocean. If you have spilled, I had called you brother no more. This doesn't seem like a conversation I need to be here to. Let's focus on the positives. Paul has a leather tongue. Leave this place, man. This can't be goodbye, brother. I don't wish it. Know that if I see you again, it will be for the last time. I will use the last of my life to build a ladder to heaven of my own so that I may protect the dinosaurs from men like you. Good stuff, everyone. Well, that went not how I expected. Anyway, I'm gonna head to Crystal Dream Lake because there's a distillery here, and I can probably use that to unwater the plane fuel for that pilot whose name I don't remember. As you're walking down the dirt road toward your destination, you catch a whiff of dog food. You turn your head toward its source, which turns out to be a pet store. And we'll probably never do that because I'm just gonna grab this. I'm just gonna distill the water out of the fuel and go. So potions, distill the wet fuel, yeah. You light the still and dry out the fuel, and distilled plain fuel, alright. And I don't got anything to go making some fancy potions with. We don't need no basic bitch-ass potions. I'm going back to the swamp. Back to the big moist. We gotta deliver that fuel to plain person. And what's gonna stop me this time? There's always something in the way. You briefly lose track of where you're going because of all the big wet trees look the same. You stumble across a ramshackle dwelling bearing the unmistakable aroma of illicit distillation. I probably also could have went there to distill the fuel, but I will check that out after the fuel is delivered. There you go. Hello again, Rhonda, that's your name. Got your fuel cleaned up. No shinola? If there was any in there, I think I got it out. Let's have a look. She opens the can, pours a little into a wine glass, and swirls it around while peering at it closely. Well, look at that. No legs at all. Oh, geez, did I mess it up? No, that's a good thing. I mean, you got rid of all the water. Don't see any dirt in here either. Nice work. Guess you're all set then. Looks like it. Got the plane fuel and runway all sorted out. Thanks a ton. I couldn't have done it without you. You know, you could have a career in aviation if you ever decide to give up. What do? I'd rather not attempt to explain it. Gotcha, I've had jobs like that. Well, I haven't got any meat on hand to pay you for your time, but here, let me give you this spare flight helmet as a souvenir. Oh, neat, thanks. You earned it, pal. Keep her flying. Good luck. And she is out of here. Now then, that helmet, that ups my mysticality and moxie, the 2 stats I don't ever use. Well, let's take a look at that moonshine place, the Moonshiner's Shack. Also, there's probably gonna be there's something here. You find a chunk of oil shale jutting out of the stagnant pool, making the surrounding water all greasy and colorful. Well, what you got for me? You ask a shale about its mother and it cries tears of shellac. Okay then. Moonshiner's shack. So, rotten stump crawling with worms, and the worms are crawling within it. Yes, they are. There's tracks. There's a chaotic mess of animal tracks leading in all directions. You identify several sets of tracks leading away from the cabin. We'll leave the tracks alone for now. I want to go into that cabin. Hello? Well, there's nobody here. Rusty old fire-powered still. You're pretty sure these aren't meant to be operated indoors. There's nothing in this jarro. Unfortunate. I wanted something in that jarro. It's full of ashes, but they're cold. Seems like nobody has been here for a while. A couple of soggy bedrolls. That's a wheel. Spare car tire leaning against the wall here. The tread pattern on this tire identifies as a Lincoln, which sounds like an impressive piece of deduction, but honestly, the top hat and beard were a dead giveaway. I don't see no top hat and beard on that tire, but if you say so. Whoever was last here must have left in a hurry. There's still a poker game in progress. You draw cards until you beat all the hands that were left on the table, then you collect your winnings. Yep, this pot has been demoted from soup to chamber pot. Blech. So yeah, people be shitting in that pot. Anyway, there's the tire tracks that seem interesting. You follow the tire tracks until you lose track of them in the water near a partially submerged cave. Sure, what's in the cave? No fishing? You know I gotta fish now. You tell me not to do something, you know I'm gonna do it. And I caught a greenish-brown muck eel. And anything else? There's gonna be lots of fish in here. Another greenish-brown muck eel. I'll just fill up my fish sack. Nice, you got a flat-finned mud squelcher. And apparently that's everything that was here. Another one of those Gator Man campsites. Maybe the ones who kidnapped Charles came this way. It's another Gator Man camp, alright. And there's 4 more wrenches here. A 31-32, a 63-64, and a 127-128 one, and a 255-256 one. Charles must carry one heck of a toolbox. All the wrenches are laid out in the shape of an arrow pointing toward a nearby hill. From the top of the hill, you can see some sort of fort in the distance, apparently hammered together out of rusty scrap metal. That's gotta be where the Gator Men took him. You grab all the wrenches and combine them with the other ones he dropped to complete the set. Well, alright, sounds like we're close to Charles. Also, what's in here? Well, there's a pocket of shadowy stuff. Ooh, hot dog! This Ford truck has been fitted with Lincoln tires. That's a little ominous. Yes, it is. Couple of shady-looking characters. What you doing? Hi? Hi. Hello. Who are you guys? We're the Schlitz brothers. I'm Clem, and shut up, Clem. He might be a proey. Oh, I ain't Clem, and I ain't Jarvis. Well, I guess you're Clem and Jarvis then. Relax, guys. I'm not a prohibition agent. I'm just passing through. My name's Garplot. Whew, well, that's a relief. Sure is. Good to meet you, Garplot. What you doing in the cave? Got ourselves a right predicament. That's what. Ooh, what happened? Well, me and Jarvis have been brewing up homemade hooch to sell, been stashing it in the back of this here cave, but we got wind that the proes was on our tail, so we figured we'd better cheese it, pull the old 23 skidoo, come to find a pack them mean lizard varmints got into the hooch and they won't give it back. We was thinking we'd just take the loss and blow, but we hit another snag. What kind of snag, though? I went and locked the keys in the truck. Still don't get why they go do a fool thing like that for. I told you it ain't like I went and did it on purpose or nothing. Well, I'll see if there's anything I can do. This truck, you could probably jimmy the door open if you had a coat hanger. Or I could rip the door off with my raw strength. Okay, the Gator Men have gotten in the Schlitz brothers' stash of hooch. They're popping the bottle caps off with their teeth, guzzling down the contents, and just generally having too much of a good time to take notice of you. Well, I think we're gonna have to wreck that good time for them in the next episode, because I'm all out of time for this one. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope to see you again in the next one. God, bye!